Right now at 5, the Neosho Police Department investigates into the death of 2 people.
We've still got rain across the area, and it's going to hang out for a good portion of today. We'll tell you how long it sticks around and what temperatures are doing coming up.
And Special Olympics Kansas teams up with local businesses and organizations to help show adult athletes different ways to get around Pittsburgh.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Tanya Bonk.
I'm Chris Warner. So I didn't really have a chance to check my tie before I got out here this morning.
Not bad.
Okay, well, good. I've been working on some stuff because it's still raining.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, and that's wonderful news for the area. We have absolutely needed this rain. Now, we're not talking enough rain to make a significant dent in the drought, but it will help, obviously, because, man, we've been getting some good rain. I did notice on my way in, if you're out driving this morning, the low water crossing on Murphy Boulevard just west of Main was closed this morning. The light was flashing, the gate was closed, so we've got just enough rain that it's apparently got that road a little washed out there, so do be cautious about that. Otherwise, rain across the area, and we're not quite done with it yet. As you can see, we'll have a little more rain through the day, and we also still have to deal with some wind we'll talk about. So that accumulation number up there is what Joplin has seen so far through this morning, 1.6 inches. We're averaging about 1 to 3 inches of rain across the area with a little more on the way. So this is the estimates of what else we're expected to get as we head through the rest of today into tomorrow. So not a ton additional rain, but still it's just rain, and it's rain that we need. We also still have the gusty winds to deal with. I noticed that this morning. We're still looking at gusts pushing upwards of 40 miles an hour, but as we head into this evening, those winds will calm down. So one more time today, make sure your trash can is secured so it does not get knocked over. We're not looking at it as bad as it has been. Raining in Joplin right now at 7th and Range Line, 50 degrees. The wind has shifted out of the north behind that cold front at 10 miles an hour. Temperatures across the area not looking too bad. 48 Chanute, 48 Pittsburgh, 50 Carthage, and 50 in Monette. And that puts us upwards of 30 degrees cooler now than what we were 24 hours ago. Live look at the MoDOT camera, I-44 east from Range Line. A red light for your morning commute with the additional showers, storms, and the gusty conditions. And a yellow light for the drive home because as we head into the evening, the rain chances will clear out. Let's get right through this forecast real quick for you. Kids getting on the bus, about 48 degrees, some thunderstorms possible, and some gusty winds. Gusty winds later, and still maybe an isolated shower or two out there, 47. We're not getting too warm today. We're doing like we did yesterday, high 55, but that'll be somewhat early. As you can see, otherwise temperatures hovering right around the upper 40s throughout the day. And once the rain tapers off, we'll have a nice, cool, crisp night tonight, clear skies and 40 degrees. We'll take a look at the 7-day forecast. I don't know what I just broke, but there was something Tanya had, then I just broke it. We'll take a look at the 7-day forecast here in a couple of minutes.
I'm sure it's quite all right.
I certainly hope so, because it sounded like it broke.
It's a Tuesday.
That's true. It is Tuesday. It's already Tuesday.
I know, right?
That's the way to look at it. It's already Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a nice rainy Tuesday.
One day away from hump day, midday.
Yeah, see, we're almost halfway through the week.
Yeah.
That's it. You got to stay optimistic. We're almost halfway through the week. It's already Tuesday. Tomorrow's Wednesday. Next thing you know, it'll be Friday.
There you go. All right, thanks, Chris. The Neosho Police Department is investigating after 2 people were found dead inside their home. Police received reports of a dead man and woman at the 1000 block of Stratford Place. They found 87-year-old Charles Barnett and 78-year-old Donna Barnett both dead and found a gun. They say Charles Barnett likely killed his wife and then himself. A man who was set to stand trial for the murder of his wife in Northeast Oklahoma on Monday instead changed his plea to guilty. John Hackathorn shot his 60-year-old wife, Mary Hackathorn, 4 times at their home in Delaware County in November of 2020. Court documents show the two had been arguing over their ranch property. A judge sentenced Hackathorn to life in prison for first-degree murder. A Southwest Missouri woman who was bonded out on a murder charge and fled is now back in custody. Authorities say 49-year-old Dawn Wynn was arrested for the suspected shooting of her husband, Harold Wynn, back in November of last year. She was given a reduced bond of $100,000 surety, which means she paid 10% of it. And they say she was out on bond when she disappeared after saying she was suicidal, but a warrant was issued which revoked her bond. She was found in Indiana, where U.S. Marshals took her back into custody. Authorities released the name of a pedestrian killed in a Saturday morning crash in Joplin. They say 24-year-old Andrew Dodson of rural Joplin was struck by a car on Main Street near the campus of Ozark Christian College. During the investigation, a motorcycle was found in the area of Zora Street and Main Street. That motorcycle belonged to Dodson. Investigators believe he had previously run off the road near the exit ramp and crashed in the ravine. He was on foot when he was hit. Dodson died at the scene. The driver of the car is cooperating with the investigation. And an update to a story we first brought you on KOAM News at noon on Monday. The Jasper County, Missouri Sheriff's Office had been looking for a missing 22-year-old woman with autism. Last night, authorities say they found her and she is safe. Well, folks in Grove, Oklahoma got a chance to be some of the first people to watch a new movie featuring a local actress. The movie is called Mind Reader, takes place in the 70s, and is about a man who performs a mind-reading act and rouses the anger of the local Magicians Association. One of the actors is from Carthage and was at the premiere.
Yeah, so I live in Carthage, Missouri, which is phenomenal that I get to live in my small town USA and I get to do what I love doing. Luckily with the internet being what it is, I get to travel to different places and participate in different movies and share that with the community. So
the movie is currently only being shown privately in theaters. Special Olympics Kansas helps adult athletes to find local community resources, and KOAM's Yana Dola joins us live from Pittsburgh with more.
Good morning. We're live here in Pittsburgh. So Special Olympics Kansas wants to show their athletes different ways to get around Pittsburgh. Area businesses and organizations from Pittsburgh set up booths along the trail to provide healthy treats for athletes. They encourage the community to join the event and walk with athletes. The event is for adult athletes, as last week's Special Olympics Kansas hosted the event for younger athletes.
We separate it out primarily because, one, it can get really crowded on the trail, and two, just to make sure that we have dedicated resources that are more for the school-age kids and dedicated resources more for the adult athletes that we'll be working with as well.
Because of the weather today, the event is postponed to Thursday, and it will happen from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m. In Pittsburgh, Yana Hautala, KOAM News.
Thank you so much, Yana. Quick congratulations go out to KOAM's own Stacy Strader and Doug Hetty. The pair just won first place at the Kansas Association of Broadcasters Awards. Stacy for Best Station Website for Medium Market and Doug for Best Weathercast. They would be the first to say KOAM is a team effort, and the team would be the first to say these two are the most deserving of these awards. Congratulations.
Absolutely agree there. We have an awesome team here, and that's nice for our team to be recognized for the incredible work that we do day in, day out. All right, quick check of the sunrise and sunset. 7:35 for that sunrise, 6:28 for the sunset, and on to that 7-day forecast. We warm up Wednesday and Thursday. Clear out a little bit. We'll clear out later this evening, actually. 62 Friday with some showers, and maybe a stray shower or two Saturday and Sunday as well, but we hover right around the 60s, so not bad otherwise.
All right. Well, that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, Riverton Volleyball is headed to state. We'll have how they plan to go further than they did last year.
Plus, this year, more women than ever are running to become their state's governor.
And why video games may actually be good for children. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back.
Well, the Riverton Rams are sub-state champions and will compete for the state title for the third year in a row. The Rams are 37-2 this season and have earned the 2 seed for this weekend's state tournament. Riverton is both experienced and motivated. Last year at state, the Rams season came to an end after day 1, and they've been working hard for months to have another shot at the title.
I think just believing that, we are a state contender, and no one can tell us anything otherwise. We missed it last year by 2 points in the third set against Beloit. I think having that remembrance too, and like you were this close. You had 2 plays in front of you to make, and use that to fuel you. Use that to fuel you to get to that second day.
Over in Missouri, yesterday was the Class 4 District 6 semifinals. Webb City and Carl Junction both won their matches in straight sets, so it's the Cardinals and Bulldogs in the final, and the title game is today at 6. Then in the Class 2 District 11 tournament, 1-seeded Lamar and 2-seeded Diamond meet in the championship. Great match. Diamond pulls out the 5-set win. The Wildcats earn a spot in the state tournament for the second straight year. Well, Fort Scott closed out the regular season with a statement win on Friday. The Tigers' 50-44 win over Field Kenley in double overtime is voted the performance of the week. Tigers trailed by as much as 16 points on Friday and still pulled off the comeback win. Lennox Van connected with Ty Marbury late in the fourth to tie the game and force overtime. Later, he found Colton Rogers for the game-winning touchdown. Van finished with 159 rushing yards and 6 total touchdowns. Fort Scott ends the regular season with a 2-6 record. They'll face undefeated Atchison in the first round of the playoffs. Kansas City Chiefs returned from San Francisco with a big win. The 49ers entered Sunday's game with the #1 total defense in the league, but that didn't really make a difference. Patrick Mahomes threw for 423 yards, and the Chiefs put up 44 points. Marquez Valdez-Scantling, Juju Smith-Schuster, and Travis Kelce all had right around 100 receiving yards, and McCole Hardman scored 3 touchdowns. Kansas City is now 5-2 heading into the bye week.
You don't want to go out, have 2 losses going into the bye week, and so we knew this was extremely an important game. And I thought the guys accepted the challenge, especially how we started and responded and went out there and found a way to get that win. But when you look back on it, you're 5-2 and you're first in the AFC West. You can't ask to be in a better position. So now we have to kind of recalibrate, get off our feet, get our bodies back. And then learn, because when we come back to this next stretch, we're going to be ready to go and try to make a push to get to the playoffs and then try to get to the Super Bowl.
Still to come, why people in the UK are excited about the birth of a baby bison. Plus another check of that rainy forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns. Welcome back to KOAM Morning News, 5:17 on this rainy Tuesday morning, and it's time for some more rain-related weather trivia for you today. So we all know this all too well. Rainfall is important for the sustenance of plant life. However, we want to know which of these plants requires the least rain to survive. Is it a fern, a yellow hibiscus, the saguaro cactus, or a pussy willow? Well, while you think about that, let's go to that rainy forecast. We got good heavy rain across the area, maybe a rumble of thunder out there as well. Otherwise, just good rain. And if you look off to our southwest, there's a bit of a break and then some more rain activity developing across central Oklahoma and should make its way into our area, but the rain will kick out of here later today. So far, in terms of rainfall, we're doing pretty good on rain. I do need to update this because, believe it or not, it does not update automatically. But we've got anywhere from 1 inch to 3 inches of rain across the area. And a quick reminder, when I was coming in, the Murphy Boulevard west of Maine by the New Dover Hill, the floodgates are closed. So do be aware of that if you're out driving this morning. This is the expected continued rain as we see additional rainfall throughout the day. So we're going to pick up anywhere from 1/4 to maybe another 1/2 inch of rain throughout the morning and into the early evening before it clears out. We're still dealing with the winds. The thing is, now it's shifted out of the north instead of the south, but still gusting upwards of 40 miles an hour. But those winds will calm down later today as we begin to clear out across the area. So one more day, make sure your trash can's secured so it doesn't get knocked over or end up places you don't want it. 7th and Range Line, it is raining pretty good, as you can see. 50 degrees in Joplin. North wind is at 10 miles an hour right now. Temperatures across the area are chilly. 47 in Yates Center, 48 Chanute, Pittsburgh, 49 Lamar, 50 in Carthage. That puts us anywhere from 20 to almost 30 degrees cooler now than we were 24 hours ago. I-44 camera looking live east on I-44 from Range Line. A red light in place for your morning commute with the showers, maybe a rumble of thunder, heavy rain, gusty winds, temperatures in the 40s. And a yellow light for your drive home because we'll start to clear out toward the end of your drive home, your commute, with some light showers by 5, and then still a little windy, though, by 6 o'clock before the winds begin to die down. Kids getting on the bus this morning, 48, maybe some showers and thunderstorms still ongoing. And then, again, maybe a stray shower, thunderstorm still going on at about 3, 47. So our high today is 55, but like yesterday, we're hitting that kind of early. We're otherwise going to hover just below 50 degrees, and then by 8, we start to clear out. And by overnight tonight, we are left with mostly clear skies, 40 degrees. So a little bit on the chilly side, but not bad. Now to our weather trivia answer real quick. So we wanted to know which of these requires the least rain to survive. Well, if you pick the obvious answer, C, the saguaro cactus, you would be correct. Those require very little water to survive because they're in the blazing desert and scorching sand, and they only appear in the Sonoran Desert. Last but not least, quick check of that 7-day. We warm up, clear out Wednesday and Thursday, and then some additional scattered shower chances Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But we're looking good for Halloween, 66 and partly cloudy. With midterm elections in a couple of weeks, a record number of women are running to lead their states. 9 women currently serve as governors, and more than 24 are vying to break that record. Skylar Henry reports from Washington on the growing list of female candidates and why political watchers say the trend is here to stay.
From Massachusetts to Oregon to Georgia, it's a banner year for women in politics. 25 women are major party nominees in races for governor, a record for both Democrats and Republicans.
We're not as used to seeing women in those executive roles. And so voters have to break out of any sort of subconscious barriers they have.
19 states have never had a female governor. And while 70 women have been major party nominees in the last 16 years, compare that to the 350 men who've had their names on the ballot.
More and more women can run. More and more women can win.
Kathleen Kennedy Townsend served as Maryland's lieutenant governor for 8 years, but came up short in her 2002 bid for the state's top job. She says national issues, including the Supreme Court decision on abortion rights, could motivate more potential candidates.
Do you think that we'll see even more women run because of something like that?
Yes, I think we will.
A record number of women are also facing off against each other in governor's races. In 5 states, both of the major party nominees are women.
In the last few years, we've seen women get more involved in politics because of the impact on their families. They want to have a say in their child's education, in making sure that their children are provided for, that they have an economic future.
Advocates are pushing to give more women a fair shot.
We still have these women who are breaking barriers where they are going somewhere that no woman like them has ever been. We love the first. We should celebrate the first. We're ready for the 38th, right? Like we're ready for the 29th or however many where we stop counting.
And this crop of 2022 candidates is ready to see a shift in state leadership. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Washington.
In all, 13 women could be voted to represent their states this November, which would break the record. Throughout history, only 45 women have ever served as governor. That brings us to our question for you today. Would you vote for a woman governor candidate? Yes or no? We want to hear from you at KOAMnewsnow.com/vote. You can vote through the app as well and take part in the discussion on Facebook. We'll be back with Health Watch after this.
Tapping Health Watch this morning. If you're worried about how much time your kid spends playing video games, there's a new study that might make you feel a bit better. The study was sponsored by the National Institutes of Health and published Monday in the journal JAMA Network Open. It found gaming may help with both cognition and impulse control. According to the study, kids who played video games 3 or more hours a day did better on tasks associated with memory and impulse control than those who did not play. The gamers also had higher levels of activity in parts of the brain associated with attention and working memory. However, the study did not find a direct causal relationship between video games and cognitive improvements. Well, roughly 10% of Americans over the age of 65 suffer from dementia, and that's according to a study published Monday in the JAMA Neurology Journal. The findings are based on close to 3,500 people who were enrolled in a program backed by the National Institute of Aging and the Social Security Administration. The research also shows 22% of those people had mild cognitive impairment with symptoms that include forgetting things and appointments or trouble coming up with words. Dementia can cause people to show poor judgment and act impulsively. Officials say exercising and eating a healthy diet can help people keep their minds strong and possibly stave off these afflictions. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
We've still got rain falling across the area, as you can see, very widespread, and it's not quite over yet. We'll see some additional showers and thunderstorms later today as the remainder of this system makes its way off to the northeast. So I'm sure at this point, nobody's complaining about the rain we're getting. We've seen on average from 1 to 3 inches of rainfall across the area. And of course, we've got some additional rainfall on the way. We're going to take a look at all the rain chances we have, what the rest of the week looks like, and how temperatures are today when we come back.
Right now at 5:30, the Neosho Police Department investigates into the deaths of 2 people.
Wet roads still around the area as rain continues to fall. How long will it rain today? We'll break that down coming up.
And Special Olympics Kansas teams up with local businesses and organizations to help show adult athletes different ways to get around Pittsburgh.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's now 5:30. I'm Tanya Buck.
I'm Chris Warner. So it's raining still, which I haven't heard anybody complain about the rain. In fact, if anything, last night I opened the window for a bit and I think I heard the grass singing in the rain.
Aww.
I'm not kidding. It's the ground is very excited to receive some water from the sky. As you can see, we still have plenty of it coming down across the area. There will be a brief break on the radar, and then we have some additional showers, but these will start to clear out later this evening. And so far, on average, we've got 1 to 3 inches of rainfall across the area, so not bad for this nice little soaker that we've had over the last 24 hours or so. This is additional rainfall we'll see later today. We're looking anywhere from 1/4 to about 1/2 inch of additional rainfall. So again, not bad totals overall. Still got to deal with the 40-mile-an-hour wind gusts through this morning, but as you can see, by this evening, they stop. And into tomorrow morning, the wind finally calms down before we see another blustery day on Thursday. So one more time, at least for today, make sure your trash can is secured so it doesn't end up knocked over or elsewhere. You can see the rain falling at 7th and Range Line with our camera there. 50 degrees in Joplin. Wind is north-northwest at 12 miles an hour. Temperatures across the area are not too shabby either. 45 Iola, 48 Parsons, 46 in Pittsburgh, 51 Carthage, and 50 in Monette today. And that puts us anywhere from 20 to 30 degrees cooler than where we were 24 hours ago. Live look at the MoDOT camera looking east on I-44 from Range Line. Traffic is going all right. The red light, though, for that morning commute. We got the wet roads, we got windy and rainy conditions, and those will persist for your morning drive. But a yellow light for your drive home because the showers will clear out, but we'll still be left with some gusty winds for the end of your drive home, so just do be aware of that. And as you can see, we don't do a lot of warming. Kids getting on the bus today, you're going to need the rain jacket. 48 degrees, showers and thunderstorms, and a few more showers and thunderstorms when they get home. 47, those gusty winds. We'll have a high, we had a high rather, 55 when we got a little break from this rain earlier. Otherwise, we're going to kind of hover around in the 40s for most of the day. Rain clears out tonight, leaves us with clear skies, also leaves us with a very crisp evening as temperatures drop back down to 40 degrees tonight. We do have a little bit of a warm up and, believe it or not, some additional shower chances on the way. I'll let you know if that's going to impact your Halloween here in just a few minutes.
All right, sounds like a plan. All right, well, the Neosho Police Department is investigating after 2 people were found dead inside their home. Police received reports of a dead man and a woman at the 1000 block of Stratford Place. They found 87-year-old Charles Barnett and 78-year-old Donna Barnett both dead and found a gun. They say Charles Barnett likely killed his wife and then himself. A man who was set to stand trial for the murder of his wife in Northeast Oklahoma on Monday instead changed his plea to guilty. John Hackathorn shot his 60-year-old wife, Mary Hackathorn, 4 times at their home in Delaware County in November of 2020. Court documents show the two had been arguing over their ranch property. A judge sentenced Hackathorn to life in prison for first-degree murder. Southwest Missouri woman who was bonded out on a murder charge and fled is now back in custody. Authorities say 49-year-old Dawn Wynn was arrested for the suspected shooting of her husband, Harold Wynn, back in November of last year. She was given a reduced bond of $100,000 surety, which means she paid 10% of it. They say she was out on bond when she disappeared after saying she was suicidal, but a warrant was issued which revoked her bond. She was found in Indiana, where U.S. Marshals took her back into custody. Authorities released the name of a pedestrian killed in a Saturday morning crash in Joplin. They say 24-year-old Andrew Dodson of rural Joplin was struck by a car on Main Street near the campus of Ozark Christian College. During the investigation, a motorcycle was found in the area of Zora Street and Main Street. That motorcycle belonged to Dodson. Investigators believe he had previously run off the road near the exit ramp and crashed in the ravine. He was on foot when he was hit. Dotson died at the scene. The driver of the car is cooperating with the investigation. And an update to a story we first brought you on KOAM News at noon on Monday. The Jasper County, Missouri Sheriff's Office had been looking for a missing 22-year-old woman with autism, and last night authorities say they found her and she is safe. Well, Special Olympics Kansas helps adult athletes to find local community resources. KOAM's Yana Hatola joins us live from Pittsburgh with more.
Good morning. We're live here in Pittsburgh, where Special Olympics Kansas wants to show their athletes different ways to get around Pittsburgh. Area businesses and organizations from Pittsburgh set up booths along the trail to provide wealthy treats for athletes. They encourage the community to join the event and walk the Watco Trail with athletes. The event is for adult athletes, as last week's Special Olympics Kansas hosted the event for younger athletes.
We separated out primarily because, one, it can get really crowded on the trail, and two, just to make sure that we have dedicated resources that are more for the school age kids and dedicated resources more for the adult athletes that we'll be working with as well.
Because of the rainy weather today, the event is postponed. It's not happening today, but on Thursday instead from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m. Reporting live in Pittsburgh, Yana Hatola, KOAM News.
All right. Thank you so much, Yana. Well, this morning we're discussing a record number of women running for governor.
Yeah, from Massachusetts and Oregon to Georgia, there are 25 women in races for governor across the country. This is a record for both Democrats and Republicans.
19 states have never had a female governor, and while 70 women have been major nominees in the last 16 years, but compare that to 350 men who've had their names on the ballot. Record number of women are also facing off against each other in governor's races, and in 5 states, both of the major party nominees are women.
That brings us to our question for you. Would you vote for a woman governor candidate? So far, this is what I love about this system, is when it updates live, because that's how you know it's working. That's how you know people are voting. 89% of you now say yes. 11% of you say you would not. Make sure you vote through our website, through the app, and of course take part in discussion on our Facebook page.
Well, it doesn't really surprise me that it says the majority is yes right now, because, I mean, obviously Kansas has a female governor.
And Missouri had one at one point as well.
That's right. So in the past, the majority of Kansans and Missourians had voted. Maybe not in our area, but they had overall in the state.
Right, and we've had that experience here locally in the past, and so did Oklahoma.
That's right.
So
that's right.
3 of the 4 states that I know off the top of my head have experience, have had women governors before. The numbers just updated again: 82% yes, 18% no. So make sure you vote. And something everybody I think voted yes for was rain, and thankfully Mother Nature delivered, because we got it. We're warming up and clearing out tomorrow and Thursday. Maybe a little breezy on Thursday. Additional shower chances Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But Halloween looking pretty good. 66 for the high, and I want to stretch this out. You can see we'll be 57 overnight Monday, so not a bad night for trick-or-treating. And we got decent temperatures heading into next week, and more shower and thunderstorm chances. It is such a wonderful feeling to be able to say more shower and thunderstorm chances and additional shower chances. It's nice to be able to say we have rain in the forecast.
Do we have total amounts from yesterday yet?
So far, the radar has been keeping track of that. If you give me 2 shakes of a lamb tail, I can actually bring that up. And so far...
Okay, there's your 2 shakes.
Yes, so she shook it twice. So there's the current totals, and I can tell you real quick, I know producers in the back are pulling their hair out, but I can tell you on average so far, so if you're in some of this yellow area, we're looking at about 2.5 inches, down in Delaware County, 2.5 inches, right around Joplin, 1.8 inches. So this is the total rain that the radar has seen so far. And we are looking at an additional 1/4 to 1/2 inch of rain today. So not bad totals at all.
Well, yeah, that's a lot of rain.
Yeah, and it's good rain too. And I do want to remind folks.
Slow and steady, yeah.
At least to what the one thing I saw. I can't speak for every road in the area, but Murphy Boulevard, just west of Maine by the New Dover Hill, the floodgates were closed this morning. So just be aware of that. the low water crossing over by that railroad bridge. The road is closed over there. So, I mean, I didn't drive down and look at it myself, but I saw that the light was flashing, the gates were closed. So if you're driving, be aware of that this morning.
Turn around, don't drown.
Absolutely.
All right, that's a look at our top news stories. Coming up this half hour in the KOAM Morning News, we learn about the campaign Emmett Till's mother went on to make sure that her son's name was remembered in history.
Plus, the UK welcomes its newest prime minister who is making history. We'll have the latest.
You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back. Topping World Watch, a new era is about to begin in the United Kingdom. Rishi Sunak will be Britain's new prime minister today after he meets with King Charles III at Buckingham Palace. The 42-year-old will be the youngest person in the position in more than 2 centuries. He will also be the first Hindu and person of color to serve as prime minister in the UK. Sunak will take over for outgoing PM Liz Truss, who held the position for only 45 days. So far, Sunak has been relatively quiet about his policy plans for the future, but analysts say he appears more moderate than other recent candidates. The first baby bison has been born in the UK's rewilding program, making it the first born in the wild in the UK in thousands of years, and that's according to a new news release from the Kent Wildlife Trust. But this fluffy baby bison isn't just adorable, it's also an asset in the Britain's plan to fight climate change. 2 charities, the Kent Wildlife Trust and the Wildwood Trust, are leading a 5-year project to reintroduce European bison into the UK. The charities hope the animals will function as ecosystem engineers, helping to restore their own natural habitats, increase biodiversity, and combat climate change. The birth was a welcome surprise for rangers who did not know that one of the female bison was pregnant when she was released into the wild. That's a look at some of your biggest headlines from around the world. Here's Chris with another look at your forecast.
Yeah, and it's a great forecast. It is a rain forecast. And you can see this morning we still have widespread rain across the area. And if you look off to the south and west, there's a little bit of a break, but it's kind of starting to fill in on the radar. And we'll have some additional rain showers and maybe a rumble of thunder or 2 out there. It will eventually clear out later. On average, we've seen about 1.5 inches of rain for a good chunk of the area. But as we were telling you earlier, we've seen upwards of maybe 2.5 inches of rain in some locations. And we could see an additional 1/4 to 1/2 inch, maybe 3/4 of rain as we head through today. We also have to contend with wind gusts again pushing about 40 miles an hour before they will finally calm down later this evening and early tomorrow morning, which is a welcome sign. So once again, though, make sure your trash can's secure. Today, I think it's more likely it could get knocked over, but just make sure it's up against the shed one more time. And then look at this shot at 7th and Range Line. It is a good heavy rain that's falling in Joplin right now, and for a lot of us right now too. It is 50 degrees, wind is northwest at 12 miles an hour. Temperatures across the area are not too bad. 48 Independence, 48 Neodesha, Parsons, Chanute, 45 Iola, 49 Lamar, and 51 in Carthage as we start the day. We are anywhere from 25 to even, or well, now 20 to 30 degrees. Cooler now than what we were 24 hours ago, because 24 hours ago we were still in the 70s. Live look at the MoDOT camera on I-44, looking east from Range Line, looking good so far on the drive. We do have the red light though, because as you can see, these roads obviously quite wet. We have the red light also for the showers, maybe some thunderstorms, and those gusty winds. We hold on to a yellow light for the drive home, less for the rain showers, as those will be tapering off, but more for the fact that it'll still be quite windy on your drive home. Quick look at the bus stop forecast. 48 when the kids get on the bus, showers and thunderstorms, and 47 when they get home, showers and thunderstorms. Today, an early high of 55 degrees, otherwise hovering in the 40s. And as we head into tonight, we clear out. The winds die down. We're left with clear skies and a cool night with a low of 40. We're back with more right after this.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. The Neosho Police Department is investigating after 2 people were found dead inside their home. Police received reports of a dead man and a woman at the 1000 block of Stratford Place. They found 87-year-old Charles Barnett and 78-year-old Donna Barnett both dead and found a gun. They say Charles Barnett likely killed his wife and then himself. A Southwest Missouri woman who was bonded out on a murder charge and fled is now back in custody. Authorities say 49-year-old Dawn Wynn was arrested for the suspected shooting of her husband, Harold Wynn, back in November of last year. She was given a reduced bond of $100,000 surety, which means she paid 10% of it. They say she was out on bond when she disappeared after saying she was suicidal, but a warrant was issued which revoked her bond. She was found in Indiana, where U.S. Marshals took her back into custody. A man who was set to stand trial for the murder of his wife in Northeast Oklahoma on Monday instead changed his plea to guilty. John Hackathorn shot his 60-year-old wife, Mary Hackathorn, 4 times at their home in Delaware County in November of 2020. Court documents say the two had been arguing over their ranch property. A judge sentenced Hackathorn to life in prison for first-degree murder. Authorities released the name of a pedestrian killed in a Saturday morning crash in Joplin. They say 24-year-old Andrew Dotson of rural Joplin was struck by a car on Main Street near the campus of Ozark Christian College. During the investigation, a motorcycle was found in the area of Zora Street and Main Street. That motorcycle belonged to Dotson. Investigators believe he had previously run off the road near the exit ramp and crashed in the ravine. He was on foot when he was hit. Dotson died at the scene. The driver of the car is cooperating with the investigation. That's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
And a check of that forecast as you head out the door. Rain falling right now, and as you can see, it's a pretty good rain in Joplin. 50 degrees with the wind northwest at 12. We've got decent temperatures, albeit a little bit on the cool side. 48 in Neodesha, Parsons, Chanute, 46 in Pittsburgh, 51 Carthage, and 49 in Neosho this morning, putting us anywhere from 20 to 30 degrees cooler than where we were 24 hours ago. Live look at the MoDOT camera, looking east on I-44 from Rangeline. A red light for the morning commute for the showers, some thunderstorms, and those gusty winds pushing maybe 40 miles an hour. A yellow light for the drive home, though, not so much for the rain showers as they'll be tapering off, but for that wind. And as we take a look as we go through today, an early high of 55 will otherwise be in the 40s, and the rain showers eventually tapering off. We'll drop back down to a low of 40 degrees tonight under clear skies. And a look at the 7-day, we dry out and stay warm through tomorrow and Thursday, and then additional shower chances through the weekend, but clearing out in time for Halloween. We'll be back with more after this.
A shocking murder nearly 70 years ago helped ignite the civil rights movement. You probably know the name of the victim, but most likely you wouldn't without the efforts of his mother.
Now a new film brings her story to the big screen. David Daniel has a look.
The first thing I noticed when I became a mother was that my hands were busy all the time. My hand knew him with my eyes closed. Just like I know his laughter in a crowded room. It's the same thing when you know all of someone. This was my boy, Emmett Till.
Till stars Danielle Deadweiler as Mamie Till Mobley, whose son Emmett was lynched in Mississippi in 1955.
There are many of us who think we know some of the details of what happened to Emmett, but this is a film about Mamie and her journey, and I don't think most people know about that.
I need to prepare you.
Can you bring Emmett's black suit? It's how he'd like to be seen.
I was in no kind of shape to be seen by anyone.
He's in just the right shape.
That smell is my son's body, reeking of racial hatred. Now I want America to bear witness.
Deadweiler says she found Mamie's journey remarkable.
To be forced into a different awareness of self and to come out of that experience with a specific kind of power.
Those pictures of your son change people's lives.
I can't look, baby. We have to.
In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
This movie looks just amazing.
Yeah, just by watching the trailer, it looks like it's going to be a really good film.
Yeah. It's, and, I mean, it's telling a great story too, and like they said, it's one that's not been told. It's the other half of the Emmett Till story, the half that brought the Emmett Till story to
And if
us.
you don't know the Emmett Till story, it's a great way to learn it too.
Absolutely. Yeah. We've still got rain in the area. We're going to talk about that rain and how long it sticks around coming up. I don't know if you've taken a step outside or not in the last 24 hours, but it's raining, and it is going to continue to do so. You can see there's a little gap, and then off to our southwest, there's more shower and thunderstorm activity that's going to roll through as we head through the rest of the day. It will eventually clear out later this evening, and we'll get a break, and then we have additional shower chances. On average in the area, about 1.5 inches of rain so far, so not bad. And as we go through today, we'll see an additional quarter to half, maybe even 3/4 of an inch of rain in the area. So again, it's much needed rain. We're also dealing with one more day, at least for now, before we get a brief break, of winds pushing about 40 miles an hour on those gusts. Otherwise, those winds die down this evening, giving us a nice break. So at least for today, yet again, make sure your trash can is secured so it does not end up in places you do not want it. 7th and Range line looking really good right now, 49 degrees. And I say really good because it is raining, and it's raining pretty good out there, and it's rain we need. Feels like 44 with a northwest breeze at about 13 miles an hour. Temperatures across the area also not bad. 48 in Neodesha, Chanute, Parsons, 46 Pittsburgh, 49 in Monette. In Neosho, and 50 in Monette, putting us anywhere from 20 to 30 degrees cooler than where we were 24 hours ago because we were in the 70s yesterday morning. I-44 looking east from Range line looks good. Red light though for your morning drive because we've got the showers, we've got some thunderstorms, obviously wet roads, and we have those gusty winds today. A yellow light for the drive home though, not so much for the showers and thunderstorms as they'll be tapering off this evening, but more so for the wind because it won't start to let up until about 7:30 this evening. Kids get on the bus, definitely need the rain jacket, 48, some showers and thunderstorms out there. When they get home, still maybe some showers and thunderstorms, 47 by 3 o'clock. Our high today is 55, and that's early. Otherwise, we are hovering in the 40s. Rain clears out. We have mostly clear skies tonight, dropping back down to a chilly 40 degrees. And 7-day forecast, we clear out Wednesday and Thursday in the 60s. Staying in the 60s through the weekend, but additional shower chances and clearing out just in time for Halloween. We're back with more right after this.
Right now at 6, Special Olympics Kansas provides trails and treats to help athletes find local community resources.
Rain continues to fall across the area, and we've got more on the way for today. We'll tell you how long it's going to last and what temperatures are going to do coming up.
And our group of Pitt State students covers a cruiser to help bring awareness to domestic violence.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. I'm Tanya Bach.
I'm Chris Warner. It is now 6 a.m. and a quick note, I've been passing it on this morning that I noted on my way to work. Murphy Boulevard, west of Main, the floodgates are closed. So do be aware of that if you're driving. If you live out in that neighborhood and you're trying to get through on Murphy, the floodgates are closed. I did not drive down and investigate, and I do not suggest that you do either, but just be aware that that section of Murphy Boulevard was closed this morning on my way in. And this is why. We've had a fair amount of rain over the last 24 hours, and it continues to rain after a brief break overnight. More of it built in, and I don't think anybody's complaining about the rainfall so far. We also have additional rain and thunderstorm chances building out in Oklahoma, and they'll make their way up our direction a little later. On average, we've seen about 1.6 inches of rain, but you can see we've got anywhere from 1 to 2.5 inches of rainfall so far. And we have additional rain, of course, on the way, as I mentioned, anywhere from 1/4 to 1/2 inch, maybe even 3/4 of an inch of additional rainfall for some of us out there. And we also have the 40-mile-an-hour wind gusts yet again to contend with. And then the winds finally will give us a break, but I do have some bad news because gusty winds return as we head into Thursday. So do make sure today your trash can is secure. You can unsecure it tomorrow before you need to secure it again on Thursday. It is raining in Joplin right now, as evidenced by our camera at 7th and Range line. 49 degrees, northwest wind at 13 makes it feel like it is 44. Temperatures across the area, not too shabby. 45 Iola, 46 the 8th Center in Nevada, Fort Scott, 48 Lamar, and 49 Neosho as we start this day, putting us anywhere from 20 to 30 degrees cooler than where we were 24 hours ago. Live look at the MoDOT camera looking east on I-44 from Range line. Red light for your morning commute for the showers, the thunderstorms, and those gusty winds and wet roads. A yellow light for the drive home, though, so it's not going to be too bad. Yellow light's more for the gusty winds and less for the showers as they'll be tapering off this evening. Gusty winds will last till about 7:30. 48 when the kids get on the bus, some showers and thunderstorms, and a little bit cooler, 47 by the time they get home, showers and thunderstorms. We hit a high thanks to the brief break in the rain of 55 this morning, but otherwise we'll be hovering in the 40s for most of the day. And once the rain clears out, we're left with clear skies and a cool night ahead, 40 degrees for an overnight low. We're going to take a look at the 7-day forecast and talk about Halloween here in just a couple of minutes.
All right, well,
Can you believe it's at the end of October? We're talking about Halloween. Like, it's now officially on the 7-day forecast.
And it's kind of funny because we've had like a lot of warmer weekends, and we're finally going to have a chillier weekend, or at least a more mild weekend.
Yeah, we've got some. We're finally settling into fall.
It'll be more of a fall-like Halloween and not a summer-like Halloween.
Right, and it won't be a winter-like Halloween like we usually have around here, where we're in the 80s, and all of a sudden on Halloween it decides to drop to like 20 degrees outside at night.
That's not fun. That's not fun.
But we'll show you the full Halloween forecast and this weekend what Tanya's talking about here in a couple minutes.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Chris. Neosho Police Department opens an investigation after 2 people were found dead inside their home. Police received reports of a dead man and a woman at the 1000 block of Stratford Place. They found 87-year-old Charles Barnett and 78-year-old Donna Barnett both dead and found a gun. They say Charles Barnett likely killed his wife and then himself. A man scheduled to stand trial for the murder of his wife in Northeast Oklahoma on Monday instead changed his plea to guilty. John Hackathorn shot his 60-year-old wife, Mary Hackathorn, 4 times at their home in Delaware County in November of 2020. Court documents say the two had been arguing over their ranch property. A judge yesterday sentenced Hackathorn to life in prison for first-degree murder. A shooting at a high school in St. Louis on Monday takes the lives of 3 people. The shooting happened at Central Visual and Performing Arts High School. St. Louis police say they received a call about the shooting a little after 9 a.m. They say the shooter was armed with a long gun, and when they encountered him, they exchanged shots. The shooter was around 20 years old and was shot and killed. A teenage girl and woman also died. A total of 8 victims were taken to the hospital with either gunshot wounds or other injuries.
I still feel like I'm real scared still to come. Like, I won't be back to school for a couple, at least next month, like when it's all over. And I don't want to go to this school anymore, actually. And I'm still scared, like I want counseling, because it's like I seen my friend have all blood on her hand, and it was like she seen the shooter, and the shooter came to her and said, "You ready to die?"
There's no word yet on the shooter's connection to the school. We'll have more on the story later in the show. Well, Special Olympics Kansas helps adult athletes to find local community resources. KOAM's Yana Atula joins us live from Pittsburgh with more. Yana?
Good morning. We're live here in Pittsburgh, where Special Olympics Kansas wants to show their athletes how to get around in the city of Pittsburgh. Along area businesses and organizations from Pittsburgh set up booths along the Watco Trail to provide healthy treats for athletes. The event is for adult athletes, as last week Special Olympics Kansas hosted the event for younger athletes. They encouraged the community to join the event and walk with athletes.
We have prizes for our Special Olympic athletes that come on out and participate and walk the trail, but we want to encourage the community to come on out and walk the trail with our athletes and get to know everybody and let them know about the different things that they have to offer as well.
Because of the rainy weather today, the event is postponed. It's not happening today, but on Thursday instead from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m. Reporting in Pittsburgh, Yana Hautala, KOAM News.
All right, thank you so much, Yana. Appreciate it. Well, a Pitt State student group partners with campus police to raise awareness about domestic violence. The group Students for Violence Prevention gave others a chance to cover a campus police cruiser in sticky notes. People were able to use the sticky notes to ask questions about domestic violence that will be answered at a panel on Wednesday.
I hope they know that they are heard, that we do want to know what they want to know. We want them to be able to ask questions and have them get the information that they need to hopefully prevent it in the future.
The panel will be Wednesday from 4 p.m. to 5:30 at the Overman Student Center. Quick congratulations go out to KOAM's own Stacy Strader and Doug Hetty. The pair just won first place at the Kansas Association of Broadcasters Awards. Stacy for Best Station Website for a Medium Market, and Doug for Best Weathercast. They'd be the first to say KOAM is a team effort, and the team would be the first to say these two are the most deserving of these awards. Congratulations.
We've got an excellent team here, both on air and off air, and they're the folks that make KOAM great. They're the folks that make KOAM the 4 states' most watched news. Quick look at the sunrise sunset today. Sunrise 7:35. We may not see it with the rain this morning, but we should see that sunset about 6:28 tonight. 7-day forecast. So we stay decent Wednesday and Thursday in the 60s. We hold on to the 60s for the next several days. We have some shower chances Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Monday for Halloween, it's 66, partly cloudy, 57 for the low. So good night for trick-or-treating because we're 75 Tuesday, and then I'm just really jazzed. Look at these rain chances on here. We have additional shower and thunderstorm chances as we head into the middle of next week. So we've got the rain today, some shower chances this weekend, and then more shower and thunderstorm chances by the middle of next week. But what's nice is we're getting little breaks, so we're not just getting a monsoon season all of a sudden, but we are getting rain that we absolutely need around the area.
All right. Well, that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, we've got Jasmine Kyle from the SEK Humane Society in studio with a four-legged friend and information about the upcoming Pause for a Cause event.
Plus, 9 women currently serve as governors and another 24 look to help shatter that glass ceiling further as a record number of women throw their hats in the ring to lead their states.
And one new study says playing video games may have some benefits for kids after all. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Jasmine Kyle is joining us this morning from the SEK Humane Society, bringing with her a special guest, and Alpine.
Yeah.
Alpine, yes.
Good morning. Yeah. So this is Alpine. So Alpine is a 2-year-old female Basenji mix. We do not usually get this breed around our shelters. So Basenjis are high energy in nature, originated in rural areas. You can also see them in Africa. She has these giant dingo ears, and that originally was to hear prey, but she is a very sweet, sweet, sweet girl. She has been to PSU recently for Mental Health Awareness Day, bringing in support and letting the kids get relaxation, walk her around, and get to really connect with the dog on campus. And then she was also at Downtown Art Walks event too. So she got to be walked by several families as well. So we are looking for a home for her. She has been anonymously sponsored too, meaning that she has no adoption fee. She is already
that's awesome.
spayed, microchipped, up to date on vaccinations. Alpine does great with other dogs. She's just looking for a home with no cats.
I've had some people ask about the microchipping. If they come microchipped, what do you need to do at that point when you adopt a dog?
Exactly. So within your adoption packet, and we'll explain, you will actually get some paperwork. It'll lead you to our website that we've partnered with the microchip from. It only takes 2 minutes. So the microchip in her right now, it will always have our information as secondary. But when you go to that website, you can enter yours. And then as soon as you hit enter within 6 seconds, that is electronically transferred to the chip inside of her.
Oh, wow.
So your information will be on the chip, but ours will always be their secondary. God forbid, like there's a tornado that comes and you guys get misplaced and we can't contact you. We will be able to get her registered in our system. It'll pull up all her vet information, including your own. So that way we can make calls, we can do house trips to make sure that you can get her back.
So there's no like continual fee year after year to keep that microchip going?
No, the only fee I believe is if you move locations, like to update it, but no, that is included within our microchips.
All right. So you guys have a big event coming up, the Pause for a Cause.
Yes, we do. So we're bringing up our 2nd annual Pause for a Cause. Last year was our first. It is a virtual fundraiser. So it is where you can bid online. And right now we have around 20 items, but we have some really cool ones this year. We got the Kansas City Chiefs to donate an embroidered football that is signed by their center lineman. We also have a autographed picture from the Pittsburgh Steelers. Arby's donated a year's worth of sandwiches. Panera's donated a year's worth of bagels. We have some really crazy items. It is, and again,
these are all things to benefit the Humane Society.
Yeah, 100% of this fundraiser goes to our medical fund. With our medical fund, that goes for vaccinations, medications. We had Sunshine on last year with you guys, and she was abandoned out, almost thrown out of a car near our system. and she had to unfortunately get amputation. And that way we were able to get her successfully rescued, and she is now with a brand new family enjoying every bit of her life. So it goes towards those emergency incidents, everyday medical applications, but it is very, very important for any humane society to have a medical fund. So we wanted to try this last year for the first time with doing a virtual fundraiser for bidding, and it went fantastically, so we are bringing it back again this year. That way it's for special gifts for you, and then Christmas is coming up too. If you have something in mind, then maybe take a look at our website, and it'll be online for a week. It'll be November 1st through the 5th, where you can go online and view all of those items all the way. So you have a whole week's worth of keeping an eye on those items for.
That is awesome. Okay, well, that's all the time we have for this segment. So make sure you log on and put in a request to get Alpine adopted, and we will talk to you a little bit later.
Sounds good. You found out where my treats were.
We'll be right back.
Topping Nation Watch this morning, the FBI has joined the investigation in St. Louis, the latest city to grapple with a devastating school shooting. 2 people were killed and 7 others injured. The suspected gunman was also killed. Law enforcement credits school security officers and the quick police response for saving lives. Astrid Martinez has the latest.
Community members and students in St. Louis gathered for a vigil hours after a tragic high school shooting killed a 16-year-old student and a teacher, Jean Kirk Kuchka.
Why us? Why would somebody do this?
Police say they are still trying to determine a motive for why the gunman, who they identified as 19-year-old recent graduate Orlando Harris, went to Central Visual and Performing Arts High School and opened fire. Investigators say they're looking into whether mental health played a role. Authorities say police exchanged fire with Harris just minutes after the active shooter call came in. He later died at the hospital.
The individual had almost a dozen 30-round, high-capacity magazines on them. It could have been a whole lot worse.
Some students who were forced to run from the school wonder how they'll ever return.
I seen my friend have all blood on her hand, and it was like she seen the shooter, and the shooter came to her and said, "You ready to die?"
Police say there were 7 security guards at locked entry points around the school building. Authorities say one of the guards noticed the alleged shooter was trying to get in at a locked door, but couldn't. That guard then notified school officials and ensured that police were contacted. The school is closed today while the investigation continues. Astrid Martinez, CBS News, New York.
Now, this latest St. Louis school shooting was the 40th this year, resulting in injuries or death, according to a tally by Education Week. The incident occurred on the same day a teenager pleaded guilty to terrorism and first-degree murder in a Michigan school shooting that killed 4 students almost 1 year ago. Let's look at one of today's top national stories. We're back with Health Watch right after this.
Topping Health Watch this morning, playing video games may have benefits for kids after all. A new study from the NIH looked at nearly 2,000 children. Those who played 3 or more hours of video games each day performed better on cognitive skills tests involving impulse control and memory compared to kids who never played video games. Well, being physically active may boost the effectiveness of your COVID-19 shot. And the new research published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine found that the more someone exercises, the more protective the vaccine tends to be. In a study of nearly 200,000 people, the vaccine was 60% effective in keeping those out of the hospital who did an hour of physical activity a week, but it was 86% effective for those who worked out more than 2.5 hours weekly. And exposure to gases, dust, and fumes at work is linked to a drop in lung capacity. A new study published in Occupational and Environmental Medicine found a strong association with waning lung function for workers who spent time around mineral dust, insecticides, chlorinated solvents, and other chemicals. And researchers say employees who are frequently exposed should have regular checkups to prevent respiratory illness. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
We were just talking, Gabe in our studio here has never heard the song Rain by Madonna, and we felt that that song is appropriate for today because her emphasis on rain is exactly what we have right now, is an emphasis on rain. Some of us getting a break in this little dry slot, but if we look off to the southwest, don't worry, we got more showers and thunderstorms developing, and they'll move in later today and will give us more rain. And so far, we've averaged about 1.6 inches of rain, but we've got anywhere from 1 to 2.5 inches out there, so not bad. And through today, we will see an additional quarter to half, maybe 3/4 of an inch of rain across the area. So not bad at all. The one thing we have to contend with too, though, is these gusty winds at about 40 miles an hour. But the good news is they'll eventually die down this evening, and they'll be calm through tomorrow until we get into Thursday, and you can see we have more gusty winds on the way. So do make sure your trash can's secured today. You can unsecure it tomorrow, and you'll need to resecure it again on Thursday. So enjoy the Wednesday break from the wind. Rain falling at 7th and Rangeline right now, and it is 49 degrees. Northwest wind at 13, making it feel like 44 in Joplin. Temperatures across the area with that northerly breeze a little bit cooler. 48 in Chanute, 47 Parsons, 46 Pittsburgh, 48 in Neosho, and that puts us anywhere from 20 to almost 30 degrees cooler now than where we were 24 hours ago. I-44 camera from MoDOT looking east. Got good traffic, but wet roads, a red light for this morning for the rain showers, the thunderstorms, and those gusty winds for your morning drive. Yellow light for the drive home just because of the wind. And rain showers, though, will start tapering off around 5. Kids getting on the bus this morning, going to be rainy, a little bit stormy maybe, 48 degrees, 47, though, by the time the bus brings them home. More showers and storms. We had an early high of 55 with a break from the rain. Otherwise, we are hovering in the 40s today, and we'll head into tonight clear and cool, 40 degrees for the overnight low. And a quick check of your 7-day forecast. We dry out Wednesday, Thursday in the 60s, holding on to the 60s through the weekend, but some rain showers possible Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and a decent Halloween, 66 and partly cloudy skies. We're back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Right now at 6:30, Special Olympics Kansas provides trails and treats to help athletes find local community resources.
And rain continues to fall across the area. How long is it going to stick around? We'll tell you coming up.
And a group of Pitt State students cover a cruiser to help bring awareness to domestic violence.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6:28. I'm Tanya Bach.
I'm Chris Warner. So we were talking about Madonna's Rain, and then the folks in the control room were kind enough to crank the volume out here and play a little bit of it. We don't have the right licensing to be able to play it on air, which is very disappointing because I feel it is the most appropriate soundtrack for today's forecast. And here's why. If you haven't noticed, it's raining. It has been for a while. We've had a couple of little breaks in there, but otherwise rain is falling across the area. Right now in Joplin, it is 49. The wind is northwest at 13, making it feel like 44 degrees outside. Temperatures across the area, like I said, I'm working on it. I still have not sorted out the temperature anomaly on this map in northeast Oklahoma. I'm not sure why the data is flawed, but it is not 37 in Miami. It's about 47. 47 Parsons, 46 Pittsburgh, and 49 in Lamar. We are anywhere from 20 to 30 degrees cooler now than we were yesterday at this time. Live look at the MoDOT camera at I-44 and Rangeline, looking east. Few more cars on the road, and those roads are wet. We have a red light for your morning commute because we've got the showers, we've got some thunderstorms, and we have winds gusting upwards of 40 miles an hour. Yellow light for the drive home, mostly for the gusty winds and, of course, some additional showers, but they'll be tapering off later this evening. Kids getting on the bus this morning, they're going to need that rain jacket. 48 showers and some thunderstorms possible, gusty winds. Still some gusty winds, 47 when they get home, and still some showers and thunderstorms out there. We hit a high of 55 earlier today thanks to a brief break in the rain. Otherwise, we're going to be hovering in the 40s most of the day. You can see temperatures kind of bounce around. Showers taper off after about 5, and then we'll start to clear out, and we'll have a clear night and a cool night of 40 degrees for the overnight lows, so a little bit chillier than what we've seen here lately. We have some additional rain chances heading into the weekend, and we're going to let you know how that affects your trick-or-treating here in just a couple of minutes.
All right, good to know because we're going to be trick-or-treating all weekend long, I think. Different trick-or-trunks and everything.
Exactly, because I'm glad you mentioned that because the thing is with Halloween being on a Monday, it's going to be a little harder for folks to get out and stay out late and do trick-or-treating Monday, but there's a lot of events between now and then, and we'll tell you what you can expect this weekend.
I was joking. My kids don't have school on Halloween Monday, but they need to not have school on Tuesday. They can go to school Monday.
Right. I completely agree with you. It's Tuesday they need to be out because...
But you know what? They're going to be sugared up. You can have them back.
Maybe that's for the better. Maybe that's why that's done intentionally.
It's like, it's evil for the teachers, though. But he wasn't thinking about that.
It's a reprieve for the parents.
Yes.
You know, the teachers are like, all right, we'll take your sugared up wild ones for a few hours, but you can have them back at the end of the day.
All right, let's move along. All right, authorities apprehend a Southwest Missouri woman who fled while bonded out on a murder charge. Authorities say 49-year-old Dawn Wynn was arrested for the suspected shooting of her husband, Harold Wynn, back in November of last year. She was given a reduced bond of $100,000 surety, which means she paid 10% of it. They say she was out on bond when she disappeared after saying she was suicidal, but a warrant was issued, which revoked her bond. She was found in Indiana, where U.S. Marshals took her back into custody. Authorities released the name of a pedestrian killed in a Saturday morning crash in Joplin. They say 24-year-old Andrew Dodson of rural Joplin was struck by a car on Main Street near the campus of Ozark Christian College. During the investigation, a motorcycle was found in the area of Zora Street and Main Street. That motorcycle belonged to Dodson. Investigators believe he had previously run off the road near the exit ramp and crashed in the ravine. He was on foot when he was hit. Dodson died at the scene. The driver of the car is cooperating with the investigation. Special Olympics Kansas helps adult athletes find local community resources, and KOAM's Yana Hadula joins us live from Pittsburgh with more.
Good morning. We're live here in Pittsburgh. So Special Olympics Kansas, they're hosting Trees and Trails event. It is not today, it is going to be on Thursday because of the rain today. But we're here with one of the athletes, Chevy Peters. Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, so what does this event, so you're going to be walking the trail to discover some new places where you can all go through that trail here in Pittsburgh. What does this mean to you to be there and meet some of the community members as well?
It means a lot to us here at New Hope that we can get out and exercise, learn different steps, how we can take care of our bodies and everything, and learn how to do some new stuff.
And this will happen at the Watco Trail here in Pittsburgh. Have you been walking through that trail before?
Yes, I have, and it's pretty big trail. It goes from one end of Pittsburgh to another end, so.
Yeah. Did you attend this event before? Have you had this previous years as well?
No, I have not. I have walked it and I have worked it. But yeah.
Could you tell about your training, because you're an athlete here? What all do you do? What is your favorite event?
We train every so often. My biggest sport is I like flag football. It used to be powerlifting, but now I'm kind of retired and, semi. But I do come in and I coach the new athletes that come in.
And we're at the New Hope Services building, and you train right here. How is this building? Is this very helpful for you? Do you also train somewhere else?
We have, here at New Hope, we have our own gym. It's called Legacy Fitness Center. It is across the way from the New Hope building, and there we work out, we run and we jog, and our coach is a very excellent guy. He's very outgoing, and he's he's always there to coach us on.
Could you tell a little bit about your journey as an athlete? What all have you done? Some of your achievements?
In 2014, I got to go to New Jersey to represent Kansas in the powerlifting event. And then 2015, we got to travel to LA to represent Team USA in powerlifting, and there I got 3 gold and 1 silver. And so far, in 2016, I got the Special Olympics Hall of Fame, and from there, it's been going on ever since.
That sounds amazing. And you're gonna join the event on Thursday?
Yes, I'll try to be there.
So hopefully we will see everyone there. Thank you. We're live in Pittsburgh. I'm Yana Hautala with KOAM News.
Yana, send out a special hello to Chevy from everyone here in the newsroom. We enjoy having him on the morning show and have for many years. And good luck in everything that you do, Chevy. All right, well, the event, like she said, will be postponed, and it's going to be on Thursday this time. All right, thanks, Yana. A Pitt State student group partners with the campus police to raise awareness about domestic violence. The group Students for Violence Prevention gave others a chance to cover a campus police cruiser in sticky notes. People were able to use the sticky notes to ask questions about domestic violence that will be answered at a panel discussion on Wednesday.
Know that they are heard, that we do want to know what they want to know. We want them to be able to ask questions and have them get the information that they need to hopefully prevent it in the future.
The panel will meet Wednesday from 4 p.m. to 5:30 at the Overman Student Center.
All right, let's take a quick look at sunrise, sunset for today. 7:35 for the sunrise, 6:28 for the sunset. So I promised we'd take a look at the weekend. So tomorrow and Thursday, we're not bad in the 60s, partly cloudy. Some showers Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We're not talking widespread rain like what we're getting now, but some scattered showers out there. So if you've got weekend Halloween plans, be prepared for that. But by Halloween day itself, partly cloudy, 66, and an overnight low in the upper 50s. So perfect trick-or-treating weather.
All right, I like the sound of that. That's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour in the KOAM Morning News. Charlene Patton from the Kansas Soybean Commission is back in studio, and we're going to be making some Halloween cookies.
Yeah, and they look amazing so far, so make sure you stick around for that. And, of course, we're going to take another look at your rainy forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. We got Charlene Patton from the Kansas Soybean Commission in the studio this morning with us, so welcome. So Charlene is a familiar face to some of you, but it's been a minute since you've been to our studios, so welcome back.
Thank you.
And for me, this is my first time working directly with Charlene, so this is exciting. And as you folks know at home, I don't usually do a lot of the cooking segments, so this is going to be just an all-around good day. So welcome. Hope your drive down here was safe. It's been kind of rainy, a little damp outside.
We were glad for that rain. All those soybean farmers and all those farmers out there, I know everybody we needed rain, didn't we?
We absolutely did. And thankfully, we've got some good rain on the way. So now, what's more important than the rain this morning, at least right now, is what we've got in front of us. Tell us what we've got here.
Well, I'm with the Kansas Soybean Commission, and so we, on behalf of all those soybean producers out there, have recipes that use soy products in it. And these are spider cookies that we're doing for Halloween. You said you have children.
Yes.
This is a super simple recipe. The oatmeal cookie recipe on our website is one of my favorite recipes. And with that oatmeal cookie, you know, you could add chocolate chips to it, you could add raisins or whatever, but do try this recipe. It's on there. It uses 2 sticks of margarine. Margarine is a soybean product, and in our recipes you'll see all the soy ingredients are highlighted. But a lot of people don't realize that they're already using soy in a lot of the ingredients in their pantry. So we're just here to tell you a little bit about it and remind everyone of the benefits of soy and how important they are to the Kansas agriculture industry.
Right, and I know we do have a lot of soybean farmers around the area. So
yes, you do.
We did a story with some just a few years ago actually talking about soybeans. So until then, I didn't realize how many we had around here.
Yes.
I mean, I know we've got a lot of farming in the region, but didn't realize how much soybean farming we have going on.
Very important to Kansas. So we have this fun recipe we're doing today. I baked the cookies ahead of time, and you could use 2 cookies about the same size as what we're going to do here. And you know, if you wanted to make little spiders, you could make littler cookies than this.
Okay.
These are just kind of regular, and this will make about 24 cookies. Okay, so what we're going to do, I've made this chocolate mixture here. This is a 1/2 cup of semi-sweet chocolate chips with 1/4 cup of soy nut butter. And that is an alternative to peanut butter, and it's just made out of soy nuts. So if you have a peanut butter allergy, soy is a perfect substitute for you. So what we're going to do is I've given you a little spatula there, take a little bit of chocolate, and we're going to just spread it on 1 layer of the cookie.
Okay.
There, just like that. This makes a great filling mixture for our cookie. And with that soy nut butter, you're going to get an extra little benefit there of all that great flavor. Oh, perfect. Then I already cut the legs for you, and the spiders have 8 legs, so we're going to put 4 of them on each side. And this is just string licorice. and cut them so they're about 2 inches. I actually used the ones that were twisted licorice and then pulled them apart. So I got an extra one there. Do you have your 4? Great.
I think so. I'm not making the world's greatest looking spider, but...
but you know, when you're working with kids, it's fun that they can make it just how they want. If they want to make some changes, that's great too.
Okay.
Now put the top of your cookie on. That's going to hold it all together. Great. Now we can set it down there, and you can do this a couple of different ways. I found that maybe the best way was I just put a little bit in there and then just put a little dot where we want the eyes to go.
Okay.
And if you get too much, that's okay too, because this is for kids. And then you've got 2 eyes there, and we're just going to put those right on top of them. You can see I turned mine upside down there. Both times I turned it upside down. Okay, there. And there you have your spider cookie.
All right.
And you could use any kind of candies. I had found these fun ones that were eyes in the grocery store, but you could use 2 like M&Ms, whatever, 2 candies.
Okay.
And that makes your spider cookie. How fun is that?
Look at these little guys here. Her spider looks a lot better than my spider.
I don't know. I think yours looks pretty great. My little eyes are all messed up, but that's okay because they may be scary spiders, however you want to do it.
True. They could be scary. So now my question is, just because this looks really amazing, can you put a little smile on your spider?
You can do that.
Okay.
You know, that's the fun thing about having kids in the kitchen and doing it yourself, is that you can do it however you want to. You can add those little things. He could have even hair up there if you wanted to, however you want to do it. I love that. You did a great job, Chris.
All right.
Yes.
He's got a pretty good smile. He looks all right, I suppose. He's a fairly happy little spider.
One of the things I wanted to mention is when they do go to our website, it's kansassoybeans.org, we have a great publication there on why kids should have soy. If there's new research that's out that if kids have soy when they're younger, it could prevent cancer later on in life. Isn't that a great new founding? And I was going to show this. We have the chocolate soy milk, and if kids need a snack or have a lunchbox treat, this makes a great way to get soy. And we should all have 25 grams of soy protein every day. But I love that new research for children, and the research is on our website, and you can download it, or you can call our office at Kansas Soybeans, and we'll be glad to send them all the recipes and information.
And do you think, people sometimes see soy and sometimes they're just turned off by the word. Do you think it's important to just remind folks that soy has a lot of great benefits, and it's not what you seem to think when you just read it on a box?
Absolutely. I think when we talk about protein and we need some added protein in our diets, you have to look to soy, because soy has great protein in it, very healthy and beneficial. But then you look at all the other reasons and the benefits of soy, ask for us to mail you our Soy Foods Guide, and you'll see all the health reasons for including it in your diet.
All right. Charlene, thank you so much for joining us. She's going to be back when we switch over to Fox 14. Of course, you can find all of this information on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. We'll be back with more right after this.
We take this time to honor today's 4th-state hero, Senior Airman Adam Smith. The Pittsburgh, Kansas native served in 2012 as part of the 22nd Security Forces Squadron in the Middle East. To Senior Airman Adam Smith, we thank you, today's 4th-state hero.
Let's get some Tuesday birthdays on the way, and we are starting in Baxter Springs, and we had Braxton Burton's birthday yesterday, but we didn't have a picture of this adorable little guy. Now, he's our news production assistant, Trevor Lewis's cousin, but look at how cute he is. That's why we wanted to make sure we got that picture up there. So another happy birthday to you, Braxton.
I like how you said he's Trevor's cousin, but he's cute.
Well, yeah, I mean, Trevor's all right, but this little guy, look at him.
All right. Happy birthday, Braxton. Brinkley K. Thornton is turning 1 year old this year. What a cute picture there in Thayer. Birthday was actually on Saturday. We're celebrating all the way through Tuesday.
Why not? And we've also got Callan Carr in Moran turning 2. I love these kids. They're all looking they look great every day, but all these kids just looking great today. Callan Carr, happy birthday to you.
Mason Warden celebrating birthday number 9 in Columbus.
And the party in the bus, man, it is in the bus. Because we've also got Everly Roberts turning 9 in Columbus as well. A very happy birthday to you, Everly.
Rylan Houston celebrating 13, taking a ride there on a tortoise. Rylan is in Webb City.
And we've got Roman Miller down in Seneca celebrating, wow, that is a nice looking birthday cake as he celebrates birthday number 15. This comes with happy birthday from Mom, Dad, Ryder, Renly, Raylan, and Nanny.
All right. And in Humboldt, Kansas, with love from Mom and Dad, Zach McDown. Happy birthday number 18 this year.
And we've got a birthday here who gets to celebrate 2 days in a row because you see Zoe Mitchell turned 21 yesterday, and she's pictured here with her late grandmother. And this comes with love from Mom and the rest of the family. Happy birthday, Zoe.
All right. And Lexi Black turning 22 years old this year. Lexi is in Carthage, Missouri, and is a first-year student at KCU in Joplin.
All right. She's going to be saving our lives one of these days, Tanya. We've got Jennifer Deach in Chanute celebrating birthday number 54. Jennifer, very happy birthday to you.
All right. And Lyman Crane turning the big 8-0 this year. Happy birthday, Lyman, in the bus, Columbus.
And we've got Tony and Gail Irwin celebrating 47 years of wedded bliss. They are pictured here celebrating in Italy, but they are from Carthage. Happy anniversary.
And finally, last but not least on our list, we've got Jared Richardson celebrating birthday number 17 this year.
Now, we know you want to send us your birthdays and your anniversaries, and we know you want to send us pictures with them too, and Tanya knows exactly how you can do that.
That's right. All you have to do is send them to us at birthdays with an S at KOAMTV.com or birthdays at KOAMNewsNow.com.
And when you're at our website checking out the latest news, weather, sports, everything that you need to know, it has something else you need, the KOAM Birthday Club. You can sign up for it. And what you do is you get some special deals from local businesses. In addition, you get a nice little birthday message from your friends here at KOAM TV. All you have to do is go to KOAMNewsNow.com and sign up for the KOAM Birthday Club. So make sure you do it today. And today's a good day to stay inside and sign up for the birthday club because it's raining and it's going to continue to do so. You saw that little notch where we're getting a bit of a dry spot, but look off to our southwest, more showers and some thunderstorms out there. And so far we're averaging about 1.6 inches of rain, and we've got anywhere from 1 to 2, even 2.5 inches of rain out of this. And as we get more rain today, it's expected to go upwards of an additional 1/4 to 1/2 inch for some of us, maybe even 3/4 of an inch of rain. We also got to deal with the winds gusting to 40 miles an hour today, which the good news is they'll let off later this evening, but make sure your trash can is secured at least one more day. Raining in Joplin right now and a little bit breezy, 49 degrees, northwest wind at 13, feels like 44. Temperatures across the area, not too shabby, a little chilly though, 46 in Neodesha, 47 Parsons, 49 in Lamar, and 48 in Neosho as we start the day, putting us anywhere from 20 to 30 degrees below where we usually are. All right, bus stop forecast. We're going to get right to that. 48. Some showers and thunderstorms when they get on the bus. 47 showers and thunderstorms when they get home. Going through the rest of today, we had a high earlier of 55. We'll otherwise be floating around the 40s for most of the day. Showers taper off after 5. And then we're left with clear skies and a cool night as we drop back down to 40 degrees. We're back with more right after this. All right, so we've got gusty winds upwards of 40 miles an hour again today. Early high of 55. Showers and thunderstorms clear out by about 5 o'clock, and we'll hover around the 40s. Clear skies tonight. We drop back down to an overnight low of 40 degrees. And let's look at that 7-day forecast, shall we? We clear out tomorrow and Thursday in the 60s. 60s through the weekend. Some showers also possible through the weekend. And then a nice Halloween, 66 and partly cloudy.
Well, coming up today at noon, we're making sassy chicken street tacos in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
With these names?
I know.
Well, anyway, your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings next. The latest from the ground in St. Louis after a gunman opened fire in a high school.
Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. And this morning, dog's best friend, Jasmine Kyle from the SEK Humane Society, is back in studio with Alpine and more pictures of puppies.
We look forward to those pictures. Plus, Charlene Patton from the Kansas Soybean Commission heading back into the studio for another sweet segment. That's going to wrap it up for us for now. We're going to do this again tomorrow morning at 5 a.m.
All right, and we're going to do it again today at noon.